Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire. We're fantasy players. We become fantasy legends.
What's up, y'all?
We are back. Another week of no football, no fantasy football.
This is a week of madness. That's all it is. Just Josh and I fucking off.
Always.
Oh, shit, I said fuck already.
Well, fuck the algorithm.
I fucked up the algorithm already. Next week. There's always next week.
Yep.
God damn it.
You know, basketball is, I know that you did not watch the last couple games, but
I mean, I saw little bits and pieces at
did you see
work.
Andrew Wiggins dunk on Luka Doncic?
Nope.
Oh my God. Okay, well you are required when you leave here to go watch the dunk of all dunks that was in this playoffs. And I know that I'm saying Andrew Wiggins. Did you think I would say Andrew Wiggins put some money on a poster? Well, he put his dick in Luka's mouth and absolutely dunked all over him. And they had the fucking gall. Yeah, actually go ahead. It doesn't take long. They had the fucking gall, the unmitigated gall, as Stephen A. Smith would say, to call an offensive foul.
I just put in Andrew.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be the top trending thing because it is nasty.
Oh, sorry.
Ads. Anyways, they call an offensive foul on this fucking beautiful dunk. How it would be offensive foul is fucking beyond me. First of all, you have to be standing. You have to be at a... Here we go. Oh, I love that noise.
That's not an offensive
How is that an offensive foul? In what way is that his face?
That's not even close.
His face was in the way.
He almost pulled his arm out of the way.
Oh, man.
He barely even touched him.
It is amazing. It is an absolute
it's because
poster.
Luka did the
fake.
He flopped. He did.
So what?
They reviewed that on video?
Oh, they waved it off. He called an offensive foul on that play.
And they didn't review it?
Oh, they reviewed it. Steve Kerr was like,
Yeah, and they still called it.
It took them 5 seconds to walk over to the booth, look at it, and go, oh, no. If anything, that was a defensive foul. If anything, there was a foul on Luka.
In the air.
You can't be jumping. You can't be in the air.
Yeah, you can't have an...
Okay, you either...
I mean, like... If he would have like cleared him out, you know, I could see that. Like if he went up like this and it was his left hand, right? If he went up like this and he'd have taken his right hand and and pushed Luka off and then dunked it, that's an offensive foul. But he didn't. He pulled it out of the way.
And there's only two situations where what you're saying is true. It's if he was standing. He had both feet flat and he put his hands like this to take the charge, or he jumped straight up in the air and he used his arms straight up in the air and wasn't fucking ripping at Andrew Wiggins' arm. I mean, in no way does it make sense that there was an offensive foul. It makes zero sense. There should have been and one on it, to be honest.
Yeah,
because he jumped in his way.
And he flopped.
Yeah, and he flopped.
He didn't hit him in the face at all.
And listen, Luka's not supposed to be this great defender or this incredible jumper. Like, I don't expect that out of him at all.
I got no problem with Luka. I don't even got any problem with you trying to get the foul, but...
No, he complained afterwards, too.
If you review it...
He hit me. And it's like, bro, he dunked on your fucking head. It was unbelievable.
Dude, that was badass, Andrew.
Yeah, what a dunk, though, right? Yeah, it essentially ended this series because they ended up winning the rest of that game. And
I did see that they won, and then I did watch some of the Boston. I think that's what I fell asleep to a few days ago, was the Boston-Miami Game 3.
Yeah, and that was a bummer. Jason
Tatum
Williams did not play well.
Yes, but if Williams the third isn't playing for Boston, they're gonna have a hard time beating them for some reason, because then they can get whatever they want. Adebayo goes off.
Well, his defense is really key to them. Robert Williams the third, he can move all over and he can help them in all kinds of different ways.
They're scared to go in the paint more. Yeah. Like Adebayo didn't have his,
last night Boston came out and absolutely stomped them out from beginning to end.
Yeah, I kept seeing it was like every time I looked at it, it was was like another 10 points.
Jimmy
added on.
Butler had 6 points, I believe.
And they're all hurt, though. Like, Miami's all hurt.
And that's a problem. And now, listen, I picked Boston.
So is Boston, though. They're hurt,
and they're hurt, too.
Yeah.
You know, the Boston, Miami are going to beat each other up. This is going 7. It has 7
and
written
the
all
Warriors
over
are
it.
going to
The Warriors
just
are done. They're going to finish it tonight.
Yeah.
The Warriors play tonight, and
They're healthy. Is anybody hurt on the Warriors?
No.
Not like these guys.
No,
are.
not in a bit. I mean, Gary Payton Jr.
Well, yeah.
But that's been out since the last series, and we really haven't. I mean, it really doesn't matter.
They'd be beating him even worse if they had Gary Payton Jr. because he'd be on Luka probably.
Yeah, and honestly, Golden State, they just have too much firepower for Dallas, and a lot of Dallas has disappeared. Finney Smith, Bullock, fucking some of these young Dallas players have just absolutely disappeared. Spencer Dinwiddie actually played really well, and so did Luka. Luka, I think, had 40 points.
They need a few more pieces.
Yeah,
Luka can't be the only one.
No.
He's the only superstar on the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie is not.
Tim Hardaway Jr. will come back next year, and he's a nice piece as well. But you need another superstar, like you're saying.
He needs
like,
at least another superstar.
think about him and like Joel Embiid. Woo! They win. They win. If he had Joel
Is
Embiid,
there any superstars free agents next year? Like, I'm sure there
so.
are. LeBron is.
yeah, he can be, but I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think so. Maybe Kawhi or maybe Paul George, maybe one of those. But I don't think Damian Lillard is still on contract.
Would you want either one of those guys?
No. Mentally weak pussies? No, I'm good on that.
And they're fucking hurt
yeah,
all
they're
the
hurt
time.
all the time.
When's the last time either one of them played
A full season? Yeah, it doesn't really happen.
even remotely close to a full season?
Yeah. I don't want them. I don't want them. You're right. It's not.
I wouldn't
it's not,
want them.
No, it's not something I'm
It's
into.
not something that is. You won't win a championship with them, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't want Chris Paul.
So who's going to get fucking paid? Oh, there is a guy that's going to get paid, and his name is Jordan Poole. His name is Jordan, and it's not going to be by the Warriors, unfortunately.
If he's a free agent,
He is.
Imagine Jordan Poole with fucking Luka.
Oh, yeah. I almost feel though that he needs a bigger presence because the biggest problem with the Mavericks right now is they're getting bullied. They're getting bullied on the rebounds is not even close.
Yeah, well,
So they need somebody that now Jordan Poole's a great shooter, and I wouldn't be against that at all. But they need to get.
but they need somebody else that can.
That's why I said
carry
Joel
them through.
Embiid.
It can't just be. Yeah, but he ain't. There's no way they're.
I know.
He's
well,
leaving.
I don't
Philly.
know. Daryl Morey's a dum dum, and he I guarantee you, he gives an extension to James Harden. Daryl Morey is in charge of that, and he fucking loves James Harden. I know James Harden played like shit. Daryl Morey's still going to give him money, and I could see Joel Embiid being like, "Fuck this! I don't trust the process anymore. I'm out of here." But yeah. Anyways, going to the East, Boston and Miami, man, that is a really good series.
They're
And
just beating the shit.
they are beating the shit out of each other. And now my pick was Boston over Golden State in the finals. But I got to say, from the looks of it, Golden State is going to get a week off.
They're gonna be rested,
heal up,
and they're gonna be beat
Boston is going to come in after a tough 7-game series. They didn't have Marcus Smart in Game 4 yesterday, but Miami didn't have Tyler Hero, so that kind of canceled each other out. Like you said, Robin Williams III has been dealing with this shit again and again, and there's Jason Tatum went out in Game 3 for a little bit with a shoulder thing, so they're not at 100%, and I don't think they will be going into the finals. So I've got pause.
Did Lowry play yesterday?
He did, but not very well. But he did, yeah. And he's not playing. Actually, Oladipo was the best player on Miami yesterday, but Jimmy Butler didn't show up. Bam didn't show up. A couple of their young players like Vincent and Strus that played really well in games that they won. Strus had 0
In Game
points.
3, they came out and hit they went like 12 for 14.
Yeah,
or some
and
shit. They scored like 39 points in the first quarter.
It was wild.
It was,
and Miami's a good team, man. I had no doubts of that Boston was going to have their hands full in this series.
I thought in 6. I mean,
and it still could be. It still could be.
Miami was. I don't know. I just thought the way that Boston was playing after they went through the Bucks and Miami only had to play Philly. I just thought that.
Well, Boston's already won in Miami, so they very well could go back to Miami and win, and then come back to Boston and win in Game 6.
They are scrappy though. I mean, they're a
Miami's a very good team,
man.
I would say out of the Dallas is definitely the fourth out of the 4 that are left, right? Like Dallas is the lesser of all of these teams. So, Boston gets out of this. I still like them in the finals. I'm still going to ride with them. I'm still going to stick with my pick. But if they're not healthy, it's probably going to be a bad pick. Probably going to be a bad pick. Yeah, especially if. Oh look, I didn't hit the start on this. 0-0. But so the basketball is coming to an end. Speaking of basketball, winning time! Holy shit, man!
Hold on, before we go to these things, can we talk about hockey? Real quick?
Hit me with the hockey. That's right.
So I have been watching. I just didn't watch last night, so I don't remember who. I started watching, but I didn't. So your boys actually are winning the Battle of Alberta. They've won 2 in a row.
Battle of Alberta.
That's Edmonton and Calgary,
which is a country in Canada.
Well, so you know how we have states,
right?
They have provinces. It's the same shit. A province is a state.
Thank you.
Essentially in Canada, right? So
just say it's a state.
It's like having like let's say 2 teams in California playing each other. Right? It's the Battle of California,
Battle of
Texas,
Battle of Ohio.
It's like Houston playing Dallas.
Yeah,
that's a better. I'm sorry, Josh. I should have said that first.
Yeah, no, I get it now.
This is like Houston playing Dallas.
I mean, you had to explain Alberta to me. To be honest, I was like, who's that,
bro? Connor McDavid is like literally willing his team. I mean, like,
I'm telling you,
they're talking about greatness. They're like he could lose this series and still get the most valuable player in the playoffs, and not even typically you don't win the Conn Smythe.
I smell greatness, and I hitch onto it. I go, you know what? You know what? I think that's the best motherfucker in the league.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, that's why I got you
I
too.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was like, I smell greatness in this motherfucker.
All right,
you come with me.
You know what? I appreciate that.
It is. I'm 100% because I only pick greatness always. So
no, he's playing really well, and I've been rooting. My whole stance in the beginning of this was I'm rooting for one of the Canadian teams, and Toronto's out, and I picked Calgary to win the whole thing, so I'm still rooting for them. But if the Oilers win this series, that's who I'm rooting for from now on.
Cool.
Colorado and the Blues. I don't remember, they played last night, and some other shit. Actually, honestly, Tampa Bay.
Blues.
The Blues.
That's a stupid name.
Tampa Bay has won 2 cups in a row. Like, they've won the last 2 cups, and they might win it again. If they win 3,
what are the Tampa Bay called?
The Lightning.
Oh my God!
There's a lot of fucking lightning there.
Fix your fucking names, hockey. That's terrible. You know what else sucks? Cleveland Guardians.
I was making fun of that yesterday.
That's a terrible
name.
They're
the Guardians of Cleveland.
What mascot is this? I want to see. Is it an Indian Guardian? Because then I could maybe get behind this.
I don't like the Commanders much either. I think it's stupid.
But it's better than the Guardians.
It's better than the Guardians and the Browns. The Cleveland's got some of the worst names.
Yeah.
The Browns
are better than the Guardians, and the Guardians is a terrible name.
They named that shit after the coach, didn't they?
Really?
It was the coach or the owner. Like,
the
that's
Guardians?
why they're called. No, the Browns.
Oh no, yeah, it's like a dog.
I know that their mascot is, but the reason they're called the Browns is because they were named after their coach or their owner or something.
Yeah, you can't be a color. That's why blue sounds stupid to me. You can't be like the Tampa Bay Red.
It's stupid. Because it's the blues, like the music or whatever.
I get it, but I'm not. It's still a color.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a great. What about the Blackhawks?
That
But why does nobody have a problem with the
Hawks?
Yeah.
Because I heard it differently when you said it. Now
I say it like that. So
the Louisiana Blackhawks is a fucking amazing name for a team. Thing? No, but I'm just saying.
I'm saying, but why does nobody have a problem with that? It's a Native American thing.
Is it, or is it?
It's a tribe.
I really thought that was a bird. Honestly, I thought the Blackhawks was like a bird.
They're freaking mascots.
Hey, we still have the Braves. I think the Braves is way more racist.
And they go, oh,
yeah. Oh, that's the most racist thing ever.
What the fuck?
When it was happening in the World Series, I was like, so wait a minute. People are getting canceled for what everything,
would be the equivalent if you did that for any other race?
Yeah, no, I can't. You don't get me in trouble because I'll do it.
I just want to know, what would be let's say, what?
Yeah, I mean, you could teach me how to Dougie in a whole fucking stadium for a certain. But listen, the names of these teams.
Hey, show me the Braves mascot. Or not the Braves, sorry. Fuck that, sorry.
The Braves, we know what it is.
He knows what that is.
What's the Guardians?
No. What's the Blackhawks mascot?
Oh, it's like an Indian guy?
Oh, Jesus.
Either way,
Serious.
the Indians don't care. They're not mad about it. We don't care. No one cares. This is our land. This is your land. From California to the Virgin Islands. Come on. This land was made for you and me. That's what we sang to them when we gave them malaria and we shot them with our guns and we took this shit. You want something? You got to fucking take it. And I dare you to come take it back from us because we're all armed. But yeah, dude. Okay, so can I talk about? Wait, are you done with?
That's their logo. I don't know why they want. Yeah, I mean, like nothing else really matters.
How close are you to the? Are we to the end?
This is so. I guess we'd be in the Eastern Conference semifinal or the conference semifinals, right?
All right.
There's 8 teams left.
Okay.
4 in each side.
Okay.
I'm trying to show you
ahead. Basketball's going to be over sooner than hockey is.
No way.
Yeah, because I mean we're in the conference finals, and they're almost over. We're almost to the finals.
Maybe that's the Blackhawks.
Oh
logo.
Yeah, look at that. That's the most racist thing I've ever seen. That's incredibly racist.
Everybody's okay. Like
that looks like a child drew an Indian. Yeah. So. Basketball's coming to an end, but man, I gotta get it out of me. I gotta talk about it.
I made it hold it long enough.
Winning time. So it's about Jerry Buss, who is played by John C. Reilly, who is fucking hilarious. Right. And like this is Adam McKay, who was Step Brothers and Anchorman. Now there's controversy behind this too because Adam McKay and Will Ferrell came up together and they made all this shit together. Semi-Pro, Blades of Glory, Talladega Nights. It's all Adam McKay and Will Ferrell. They obviously love John C. Reilly, and the Adam McKay and Will Ferrell had talked about this winning time and how Will Ferrell wanted to play Jerry Buss. It was like a big deal to him. He's from California. It was like something that he always wanted to do. And Adam McKay was like, yeah, of course. And then we get right up to where they're about to start, and he casts John C. Reilly in it without talking to Will Ferrell in it. Without talking to Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is completely butthurt. It's been out in the news, but he won't work with him anymore. So he won't talk to him. The friendship is over this winning time. So, fun little backstory about it. That being said, John C. Reilly is way better for this role because it is kind of serious too. Like it's not just you see the whole like his mom's dying of cancer. He's dealing with the fact that he's kind of a fuck boy that's just this rich fuck boy that's had this, like you see him kind of fucking up in front of his kids and stuff like that. And it's just Will Ferrell could have done it, no doubt, but it would have been more of like a Will Ferrell thing. It would have been like funny and it would have been just like we're doing this thing with Will Ferrell. Well, John C. Reilly kind of hit some more deeper moments that I think Will Ferrell can't. No offense to Will Ferrell, but I just feel like he actually made the right choice. He just, what killed Will Ferrell about it was that he didn't talk to him about it. Anyways, John C. Reilly's amazing in it, but what's amazing to me about it is the guy that plays Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. First of all, he nailed his fucking voice. He sounds just fucking like him. Really? And he's really good. The guy that plays Magic Johnson is really fucking good. He also looks just like fucking young Magic Johnson. But I wasn't alive for this rivalry. It was in 1980 of Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson and the whole,
I was.
Well, and I'm sure.
Guess how much I remember.
A lot. All
I was thinking like 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shit. So you didn't really. I mean, you did hear about it from probably your parents and no.
My parents didn't give a shit about sports.
Well, anyways,
we didn't even have a TV.
So it shows the first year that he buys the Lakers. Jerry Buss buys the Lakers. It shows how much he doesn't have money and he like fucking figured it out by the skin of his teeth to buy this team. He drafts Magic Johnson, even though everyone, saying that they should have got Larry Bird. Larry Bird goes to the Celtics and is the rookie of the year. Now, They don't make it to the
They
finals.
went to the finals, I thought, in Magic's
rookie year, he wins. And his against the 76ers, against Dr. J's 76ers. Now, they give Rookie of the Year to. Anyways, I'm gonna spoil a fucking amazing moment in it, but it was the thing that made me love this fucking show. So they show Magic the whole time, and there's ups and downs in the seasons. They get a new coach who gets in a bike accident. He's fucking goes into a coma and can't fucking talk. So Jason Segel plays this like fill-in coach that comes in. Pat Riley, who's played by Adrian Brody, he's the assistant coach in this situation. Used to be a player, I guess. Pat Riley did. He was on some of those old Jerry West teams.
Oh, he was the Lakers?
Yeah, for the Lakers,
Phil
yeah.
Jackson was the Knick.
Yeah, on the Knicks, yeah. And anyways, Pat Riley is a assistant coach. They end up going to the finals. Larry Bird wins the Rookie of the Year over Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson asked one of the Lakers assistants, "Hey, go find out how much I lost by. I want to know the tally of what it was Larry Bird to me." So he comes back in, and Pat Riley catches him and is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, Magic wanted to know what he lost." And he's like, "All right, give it to me." So he doesn't tell him. Pat Riley doesn't go up. He doesn't tell him. They play this whole final series. They get to Game 6. They can win. The Lakers can win on Game 6. And it's the fourth quarter. There's 2 minutes left. Magic Johnson has played every minute of the game, and he's exhausted. Kareem, all the guys, well, Kareem's not there, but Norm Nixon, Norm Nixon, and all these guys, Spencer Haywood, they're all trying to talk him up and no, you got this, young buck, you got this, you got this. They all get up from the thing, and he's still sitting there, and Pat Riley goes over to him, and he goes, "You lost 63-3 to Larry Bird." And Magic Johnson just looks at him, and he's like, "Fuck that." He gets up and they it's like, oh man. I was like, oh, it was the perfect thing to fucking say. It was amazing. It's an amazing movie moment in it because you just see Magic Johnson's face and he's like, "Nah, oh yeah? Oh yeah?" And I mean, for real,
Is that true?
Yeah. Pat Riley confirmed it. He's like, "Yep. It was the perfect moment. I knew it was the moment to go over." Magic Johnson confirmed the story. He's like, it was all he said, "You don't understand. I was gassed. I had nothing left. I was sitting over there telling Norm that he's got to run the point and he's going to do this and this when we go in." And then Pat Riley came over there and did that. And I just got this boost of oh, okay. All right. We're going to win right now. And Dr. J kind of put him in his place earlier in the year too. You see that first meeting of where Dr. J plays him, and Dr. J is really good, and Larry Bird and him have it's just amazing. The show is just amazing. The people they get to play in it, the acting in it is amazing. Like I said, John C. Reilly has just amazing moments, and I didn't think I gave a fuck about this at all because I wasn't alive for it, but I could not stop.
I've looked at it several times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this.
I'm telling you.
Nah.
So fucking good. So 5 thumbs up, every thumb that you can.
I might actually watch this.
Check it out, bro. Really, I'm serious. I
tried to watch that one about the Jewish boxer.
Oof. So it's a tough go. It's
I fell asleep.
That one's not an easy not an easy
Honestly, that's how I rate movies. Did I fall asleep? I must not have been that good.
Yeah, I hear you. That one's tough, but it is a good movie too, The Survivor. Man, so I'll tell you what happened here. Okay, so I'll give you the
I kind of heard about this
abbreviated version of the Nick Saban Jimbo Fisher thing. So Nick Saban goes on to a radio show and says, "Well, somebody's going to have to tell me how this whole new system works because A&M bought their whole roster." Okay? So then Jimbo Fisher, the coach of A&M, comes out after that and goes, "The fuck are you talking about? For real? Are you going to say this? Are you really going to play this game right now? Are we going to show each other's cards here?" And then somehow Deion Sanders got brought into it in that same interview where Nick Saban said that they paid the number one recruit, number one cornerback, he's the number one in the nation, that they got to go to Jackson State. They paid him $1 million. And Deion Sanders came out and was like, "First of all, that's not how this works. And no, I did not pay pay him $1 million out of my own salary or my own bank account so for him to come here. And Deion Sanders went off on Twitter. Deion Sanders was like, listen, I used to be the one that they were bringing the bag to. I know who gives the bag out. I know who gets the bag. I know who. You don't want to play this game with me. I'm on a deeper level than you are, Saban. Like, you think you know? I'm the one that they were bringing the money to. I know these young kids that you're bringing the money to now. So don't do this. I'm gonna out everybody, and I don't give a shit. Like, I don't even get paid $1 million a year because it ain't about the money to me. And it's a very interesting. What we're looking at now is, because now that they've allowed. Here's what Saban's mad about. A lot of the talking heads said, and I agree with them, Saban was saying that not to call out Jimbo Fisher and Deion Sanders. He was saying that to call out his boosters, his fucking people that give him money. So it was like, hey, look, A&M just spent the most in their recruiting class, so I don't know what we're doing wrong and they're doing right, calling out his fucking people. But it's like, what you're going to get to at a certain point, Saban is mad that, okay, you're one of the top 10 linemen in the league, and you go to Alabama. Well, you might be number 7, and you might be fucking good. You'll be starting on every other fucking team that you go to. You'll be the number 1. But because you go to Alabama, because you wanted to be on the best team and you think you're the best, but you're the 7th best, well, now you're pissed and you're a sophomore and you're not getting any playing time and you're good enough to be a sophomore for Florida, you'd be starting, but for Alabama, you're sitting on the bench. Now I want to go in the transfer portal.
So the transfer portal is just like basketball then? Mm-hmm. It works that way for football now?
Uh-huh.
And they can pay them?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they can't pay them. They can give you the scholarships, and then now they have sponsors. So, like, that's one of the things that Deion Sanders is whooping ass at, is that he's like, you want sponsors? I'm on TV. I'm primetime. I promise you I'm going to get you sponsors. I got the guys from Nike's number. You come here.
So the sponsors, the kids can get sponsored and paid?
Yes.
Okay. I did, and in basketball too?
I believe so. I believe it's the same in both.
Because that's why, like, the tournament and shit's so like all these smaller, like, mid-major, or I don't know what they are, but they're like the smaller schools, but like literally like their whole fucking like there was several teams that like 3, 4, 5 kids all came in the transfer portal.
Because in basketball, I feel like you realize that as long as I show out, I can be Steph Curry on Davidson. As long as I show out in the tournament, I can make it into the league. But in football, I feel like these kids all think like, I got to go to Alabama, I got to go to Ohio State, I got to go to Clemson.
Because that's how it's always been.
It's always been that way. And that gets me the most airtime on national TV because they're going to be in the championship game and they're going to be there at the end.
Right.
I don't discredit that. I think that most of these kids are right. I'm just looking at it from Saban's point of view, where this is where he's mad, is that he's putting all this time and money into recruiting. He's going and sitting down in these kids' houses. Then they come in and they're leaving him. And now he's got every draft where he sends his juniors that are redshirt or whatever and his seniors out into the world, and they go into the NFL draft, which happens to him a lot.
Have all transferred.
They've all gone in the transfer portal, and now he's like, well, fuck. Like,
so he's mad that he's not going to win every year.
I had this shit figured out.
I'm off. Well,
I had this shit fixed, man.
You know what? It's the same way for us. Right? In the you know how many times you gotta like switch what you're doing in the restaurant because everybody bitches. Like, they figure out that you're making more money and they're like, oh, I want to do that. And so then they change the rules and then you're like, well, fuck, now I'm not making it. Now I gotta try something else. And then you figure out the new way. It's just what it is.
I'm not against that. He could still find a way in this.
Motherfuckers had a monopoly for like 20 years.
The other thing they were saying that was that, and I don't know because it's but apparently in soccer they tried to make a super league that didn't last.
Yeah, and pissed everybody off,
right.
Apparently.
And so apparently that's what all of these big coaches from these big schools are threatening now. That they're like, look, we're at the point where why don't we just get all the SEC teams that are there, Ohio State, fucking, go get the big schools, Clemson, and we'll just make a super league. But the problem is, the rest of these small schools in all around the fucking America, they're not going to let that shit happen. They're going to bomb it the same way I'm assuming this Super League over in soccer got bombed because the town of Waco makes money off of Baylor. The town of, College
I just don't
Station.
think that. I don't think that would affect college football too much. Do you?
It wouldn't affect the outcome because the same schools are going to be there no matter what. But money
Right,
wise,
but a lot of the money that goes into the colleges come from their alumni, doesn't it? And TV contracts.
and
I
TV
suppose.
contracts. And if you take, does Baylor get in on this Super League? I don't know. Does some of these smaller schools, does North Dakota State ever get a shot to get in there? Do any of these?
What if it pisses off everybody else so much that they just don't watch it and shit?
Well, and you're 2 steps away from making this professional because you're giving them and that's what Saban said. He was like, well, we should just give them contracts. And it's like, oh, yeah, but okay, at that point, this literally is a professional league. And then what's the
I
difference?
think that's what they should be doing anyways.
Just let them go straight to the pros then.
Yeah.
Well, or just shut their fucking mouth.
Or the NFL just needs to create a fucking minor league system.
Hey.
Like create a minor league. And say, okay, we'll accept you can come straight from the high school and play 2 years in the minor or 3 years in the minor leagues. Or actually, fuck, you don't even. I don't. Why the fuck do you gotta go to college anyways?
Man, it's a
Why the fuck
system.
do we have to keep pushing college on everybody?
Because
It's not required.
because they make money and they want our money and they want your kids' money.
I know.
Yeah.
They want. I know.
And they want it to never stop.
And like, if you don't go to college, you're gonna get a
Oh, you're a
shitty
failure.
job, and then
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
fucking get, and you know what? Then they fucking discriminate, but it doesn't even fucking matter what degree they have. They just want a piece of fucking paper.
How many motherfuckers do we work with that went to college?
A bunch.
That suck as servers, by the way. That suck as servers, and they're not
And it
very
really,
good at it.
I mean, and honestly, I don't know. I'm a server because I haven't lived up to my potential.
Fuck yeah. Nobody wanted to do this.
But I don't think college would. I don't know. Honestly, I think I might go back to college now, but I'm ready to learn something
like
now.
a trade school, maybe something that you could learn to.
I think I'd like to be maybe like a psychologist or psychiatrist. I mean, like, I'm interested in that shit. I love all that stuff about brains and how we think and what we think and why we fucking think it,
Yeah.
Maybe I want to be a botanist and learn how to grow tomatoes.
Or whatever.
And learn all the fucking little intricacies about, how to like bring life from the ground. Maybe I want to be a farmer. Like maybe
I
I
don't
want to
know
do
if
that.
college is necessary for any of that stuff, to be honest with
Probably
you.
not. I could probably just go to the fucking library and
Maybe
read.
psychology, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you could talk somebody into coming sitting down and talking to you, I mean, what's the
You're
difference
right. I could
between you
just
and
be like
any-
maybe I could just call myself.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I just like start a church?
Yeah.
I could be like a pastor.
Hey, plenty of people have done that, and that works. That works.
The church of. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some other things? Josh Donaldson.
I saw he got a 1-game suspension.
Did you see what he said?
No.
He went up to Tim Anderson, who is a black gentleman who in 2019 had an interview where he said he's the modern day Jackie Robinson because he needs to make change for his community. Okay, not a crazy thing to say, just something that this Tim Anderson guy said. In the middle of the game, I guess Josh Donaldson went up to him and said, "Hey, what's up, Jackie?" Here's the thing, like I'm trying to
What's
see
up,
it as like a
Jackie?
funny, like how it could be funny.
But like, I guess what's the context? I don't know. It's just
That was it. It was just
What's
he
up,
walked
Jackie?
up to him and said that, and then of course Tim Anderson did not take that well and freaked out. And I mean, of course, like Josh Donaldson just should not have said that. There's no.
Is he a Yankee?
Yeah, he's on the Yankees. Yeah, but it just was like ooh man, I don't know if I can get behind that. So that happened this week. I know that.
Well,
that was,
I mean, you just what the fuck? Why? It doesn't
Why?
make it- why would you do that?
here's
That's
the thing.
weird.
Like racism, outwardly. This is gonna sound terrible. Everyone has racist thoughts when they're in their privacy of their own mind. I feel that very much so in the
It's-
service world.
It's not. It's more like so. It's what it is profiling. it's just ingrained in a human mind. You are looking at things, and when anything is, you're constantly putting everything in categories. It's just what you fucking do.
All races do it. And
You do it with everything. It's not even race. You like fucking cat, dog.
Yeah.
And a Japanese guy,
Male,
black
female.
dude. Yeah, fucking.
Those are the
you're
only
like
two.
paying attention.
Male,
yeah,
female.
like, and you're
Those are the
constantly
only two.
analyzing, but you're also looking for threats, and you're looking for hot shit. You're looking for everything. You're constantly scanning and analyzing
But-
and categorizing everything you fucking see, and everyone does it. You have to.
I'm not cool with walking up and trying to use that as ammunition or weapons.
It doesn't
to walk up and just say that. Like,
why would
he
you
was
say
trying
that?
to piss him off. He was
Okay,
trying
yeah,
to get
so
under
then,
his skin.
yeah.
He was trying to make him mad, and you're using race for that.
But
and that,
also, like, Jackie Robinson is looked at as a great fucking pioneer for race integration in
and
sports.
how ironic is it that his name was then used against him as a
right? Like,
to
you
degrade
don't,
him.
don't fucking bring his name into any of this.
So
man.
he tried to backtrack and say, I was just trying to say that he shouldn't be comparing himself to Jackie Robinson, and that I just thought that, don't compare yourself to a legend like that. Look, you said it to be a racist. That's what it was. You fucked up, and we live in the fucking modern world where if you say something like that, like maybe back in the 50s, you could have said some dumb shit like that and nothing would have happened because Tim Anderson's voice would not have been heard and it would have been brushed under and we would have said, fuck it. But now you get called out. He probably should have got more than a game suspension. It's just a fucking bad look. Bad look, Josh Donaldson.
He's honestly, you know what's. And you could honestly get like blackballed from the league for some shit like that.
I'm surprised that it wasn't a bigger deal than it was. I mean, he got the game suspension. I know a lot of people are mad about it, but it's a very, to me, like it's if you're getting canceled for this out in the like entertainment world, I don't see how this is a cancellation offense. Speaking of getting canceled, Dwayne Haskins got canceled. Bad joke. But he was drunk and had drugs in his system. So that came out
and
from
training.
Yeah, I guess. And one of the things that came out from this was that they were investigating it because it might be a homicide because the dump truck apparently jumped the curb. And now it's come out that being drunk and whatever state of mind he was in, it wasn't a highway like we think of, a big major highway. It had a sidewalk on it and he was walking down it and went to cross, but the dump truck was coming. And so when the dump truck tried to overcorrect and tried to dodge him, and Dwayne Haskins did the deer in the headlights, just kind of froze and then ended up getting hit. So, sad ending to that whole thing, but I just thought it was interesting that he was in fact drunk and on something. So that rules out to me any foul play. That story was way more interesting to me when the dump truck driver was like, I'm gonna get him, and he fucking jumped the.
That seemed odd.
Yeah, it seemed weird. It seemed
why
weird.
would some dump truck driver in Florida have
So
it
I
out
just
for
wanted to
Dwayne
stay.
Haskins?
I just wanted to stay informed, because we've made comments about it, and I think Dwayne Haskins deserves some blame for this one. Score one for Pac-Man. I don't know what we're talking about here. So then look at this madness that I went into. So I decided last night that I was going to rank the dynasties and now these all have to be championship winning basketball teams. They cannot have not won a championship. They've had to win a championship. I would have preferred them to win a couple of championships to be a dynasty, quote unquote. But I just thought, okay, let's talk about
it more.
all-time great championship winning teams. So
I'm guessing these are all like fairly recent.
well, no,
Like, what's the oldest one?
Bird Celtics. Yes, I don't go older than Bird Celtics.
Okay, so 40
Because
years.
The ones from older than that would get smoked by all of these other dynasties. And I mean that with all disrespect. Smoked with all these white men that used to play on these smaller teams where guys were like 6 feet tall and they were playing forward. Smoked. But yeah, the Bird Celtics, I have to even say, I actually don't think they would do too hot against some of these modern teams. They relied a lot on their physicality and that's not necessarily basketball. Getting into fights is not necessarily basketball. So if they couldn't fight you,
So there goes the Detroit Pistons from the 90s.
it would be tough for them. But Isaiah Thomas was still really good. I mean, they had
Them
other
beating the Rockets. I was
No.
like, nah, I
No,
didn't think
I-
so.
I
They
had
lost in the first round.
No, I had to take the Rockets. I had to take the Rockets. And the Rockets, honestly, and the Pistons probably shouldn't be facing off in the first round. They're probably better than that. But so let's see. So I immediately went, okay, what do I think the bests are? And I think obviously you got to put the 90s Bulls in there. I secede that team as a whole was absolutely dominant, especially when Rodman got there. They were just so good, so deep.
That was a good year.
You know, Tony Kukoc and
that
Steve
was
Kerr,
90.
shooters.
What year was that? I forget. 95?
96, 95,
I think it was
94.
90. Yeah, I think it was the
97,
95,
96,
like the middle.
Yeah, that one.
90.
Yeah. Even the first one's really good too, but let's say that
96,
one,
yeah,
the second
yeah.
go around, which is still a lot of them. Anyways, that 90s Bulls. The KD Warriors, I put those as my other number one seed. Honestly, when we get here to the end, I'm going to say that I have them winning the whole thing because I don't know what you do to stop that three-headed monster. Who guards them when they were, and especially I'm talking about when all three of them played together here a couple of years ago. They were all at prime. They were killing it. Like when they won 2 years in a row, none of them were hurt, and they were just cooking. So then the number two seeds, I put Magic Johnson's Showtime Lakers and the Kobe and Shaq Lakers because I think both of those teams were probably some of the best teams that we've ever seen. The Showtime Lakers for sure. I mean, Kareem, Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, James Worthy.
I'm with you so far.
You know,
I mean, like,
and
I'm trying to think like
the Kobe
honestly, the Kobe Shaq Lakers.
I know, very good. Very good.
How do you stop that?
Well, and,
Who's guarding Shaq?
well, and see, that's why my Final Four is very interesting to me. But
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the Final Four.
Yeah, the Final Four is very interesting. But number threes, I put the LeBron Heat.
They're really good.
Very,
too.
very good. The Bird Celtics. Very, very good as my other three seed. Okay. Very good teams. My number four seeds, I put the Duncan David Robinson Spurs with Bruce Bowen and very scrappy defensive teams, but the Duncan Robinson combination was deadly. The Isaiah Thomas Bad Boy Pistons is another four seed. And we talked about it already. They were dominant. Hakeem Rockets. I'm going to say Clyde Drexler year because I think that's where they were at their best. But either year with those Hakeem Rockets, very, very good teams. And then the Duncan Kawhi Spurs. That was a different team. That was more Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Kawhi wasn't even really such a big part of that team, but that was a dynasty nonetheless. Number 7 seeds, I put. Where's my 6? 6. I put the Dirk Mavs. That might be a little high too. I might have been a little out of it. That's a little high, but Dirk, when he won that year, he was a superstar, and a lot of those players on that team played really well. But I don't know. That might be a little high. The Billups Wallace Pistons is my other 6 seed. They are obviously better than that Dirk Mavs, so I already messed up. I think, yeah, I'm stretching here a little bit as we get into these later seeds. But the Billup Wallace Pistons, that was a really good all-around team. The 7, I put the LeBron Cavs with Kyrie when he came back, and Kevin Love. The number 7, I put Wade and Shaq. That championship team, just because of how good Dwayne Wade played, I'd give him a shot in any of these games because he was so dominant in that finals. I'm gonna take this off. So Giannis Bucks, I'll put that as a number 8. They were very good, but obviously they're getting mollywopped by all these other teams that I named. And the Kawhi Raptors, I'm taking them out. And I forgot that I didn't put the LeBron Lakers. The LeBron Lakers were better than the Kawhi. The Kawhi Raptors got lucky that everybody was hurt, and by the time they got to the finals, there was nobody left. Kevin Durant was gone. He faced the Steph Currys. He beat Steph Curry and a bunch of no names on this Warriors team. There was no Klay Thompson. There was no Steph. There was no. I think even Draymond Green missed a game in those finals. So the Kawhi Raptors are out.
I have one question, I guess.
Yes.
Why does the Spurs get 2 different teams, but the Bulls don't? Why are there not 2 90s Bulls
to me
ones?
on the
Because there was 3 and 3.
Yeah, but I mean they're pretty similar teams. when you come back to the second go around. The only real difference is that they added some shooters and they lost Horace Grant and replaced it with Dennis Rodman, which is why now okay. Yeah, you're right.
That's about the same thing as replacing Kawhi and Robin.
Yeah, you're right.
Robinson with Kawhi. I don't know. Like
You're
there was
right.
a 2 year. There was definitely 3 here and 3 there, and you know, I don't know.
Well, and if you do, then all that
And
does
those
it bumps
teams
out
would be.
it bumps out one of these 8 seed that I'm already telling you are not good enough to be here.
But I was
doesn't
also,
matter.
I grew up then.
Doesn't
and that
matter.
was
No,
my
and you're
favorite.
right. You're right. Those the second go around in '90s, but I still have the Rodman Bulls making it to the end. Right.
Yeah.
My final 4. Do you agree with?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so then I
the
won't
only
go.
thing I could think of is maybe that LeBron Heat. When LeBron and Wade beat OKC that year, that was a good fucking
And let me tell
team.
you, I'll tell you where I struggled here. I struggled against the LeBron Heat versus the KD Warriors. I had to really think about it. I had to really sit there and go, fuck, I don't know. I really don't know if they could beat that
They
team.
were both in their prime. Like,
Yeah,
they were
I really don't know.
both
That would have been
playing,
a monster.
so well.
And-
Chris Bosh didn't even exist hardly.
Yeah.
they were playing so well.
The Bulls, the 90s Bulls versus the Bird Celtics. I mean, we're talking about a great matchup. I do take the Bulls in it, but I think we're talking about a real headbanger that really could have came down to the wire. The other ones, I mean, I don't know why I had it going on in the first round. It shouldn't be, but the Bad Boy Pistons versus the Akeem Rockets, I don't know. That was tough for me. That was a really hard one.
Well, you had
All
to
the
take
rest
the
of them were
Rockets in
pretty
that
easy.
one, didn't you?
Pretty easy.
You had
Yeah,
to
I'm
give
a
the
little
Rockets
biased.
one,
A little biased. I did.
one win.
And then that had my Akeem Rockets going up against the Showtime Lakers, and I as biased as I want to be, I do not think that we would have beat. We have nobody that would have been able to guard Magic Johnson.
I think it's funny that you put the 2 Spurs teams up against each other.
I did.
He made them play each other.
And I picked the David Robinson one because I think that was the better version. Fuck Kawhi.
Well, I like David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson was the man, and my finals would
so you
be
got the
between the 90s
90s
Bulls,
Bulls,
the Kobe Shaq Lakers, and then the KD
KD
Warriors
Warriors.
versus the Showtime Lakers, which I guess if you're a true Laker diehard, you could say, yeah, it should be the Laker showdown at the end, which I'm not against. I am not against you saying that those are maybe the 2 best teams of all time. I have to assume those. Shut your fucking mouth! The 90s Bulls are probably getting in there, and the KD Warriors are probably getting in there. So
It'd be hard to go. You could make an argument for any of those teams. Honestly, yeah.
Of the 4. You could.
Because how do you guard Shaq or how
a
do you
7-game
guard
series?
fucking
I don't know.
KD,
I don't know.
Because if you don't guard KD, then you got fucking are you guarding
Also-
Curry or are you guarding Thompson?
And listen, after watching the Kareem, the Showtime winning time about the Showtime Lakers, Kareem played in an era where they were all over him. They were fouling the fuck out of him all the time. He was constantly fighting dudes off of him. He was having people stepping on his ankles all the time. And he didn't play a bruising style like Shaq did. He was a finesse, sky hook. His style of play, just like Hakeem, it would translate into any era. I don't know how dominant he would be. I don't know if he'd have as many points as he has.
He probably had more if they weren't able to foul him.
True. And he was a good free throw shooter. So if you send him in the line,
And you can't guard that
the
little
sky
fucking
hook.
sky
So
hook.
they show him teaching Magic Johnson the sky hook,
really?
and it's a fucking awesome moment too because you're like, he's gonna win with this one day. So the second season of Winning Time has already been greenlit too. So second season's coming. I can't wait for more Winning Time. But yeah, I just thought about where and this is why I just want to say that I give LeBron a lot of credit because with all the accolades that he has, he shows up on this not very deep.
So here's an argument that you're gonna get. How much time to get?
Oh, I mean, who the fuck knows? We're just just flying here.
Back in when we're talking about the 90s Bulls and the Bird Celtics and the Showtime Lakers and even the Isaiah Thomas Pistons and the Rockets for that matter, like these teams, these motherfuckers hated each other, right?
Yeah.
There was no talking and getting together and creating super teams. Not
between the superstars. Not between Larry Bird and not between Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing
Right.
and the people that were the cornerstones of that team. But what I disagree with is that the other ones, apparently, that's all good. Like Bob McAdoo was on the Pistons or whatever, and then he goes to the Lakers. So it's not the fact that you can't create a super team with others. You can't put Larry Bird and Magic Johnson on the same
the
team.
Bulls got Rodman.
Yeah. And
they just happened. Well, but you kind of had to they had to draft Pippen.
here's what
Pippen
happens.
had to turn
Here's
into
what
the
happens.
superstar.
You get the superstar, and then you get to the point where you're like the Celtics did, where they had Larry Bird, and it was like, okay, we already experienced this once with Bill Russell. We're a good team with money and backing and fans. Let's go for it. And they made trades to get who they needed to get, and they got there, and they draft well. That's a huge. I mean, the Warriors. I cannot hate on them for building that team the way they did and then bringing on Kevin Durant.
The only one, well, yeah, I don't hate him for. I don't know. I hate on Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I hate Kevin Durant for it, and I hate them for being, what you're talking about, that they're not old school enough to be like, nah, we can't do this.
I was okay with the Warriors. The first championships, or it was just one.
But
right?
the truth is,
the KD ones,
those teams exist. The truth
Right.
is, those teams exist, and other super teams have been attempted in the past. I mean, you could even say the Paul George Kawhi Clippers are a super team, but they ain't won shit.
Yeah.
You put
But I
Kevin
could say
Durant.
the first one I really see where they get together would be Kobe Shaq, right?
Yeah.
because
Shaq wasn't. Shaq was a free agent that just came over, and
he was in Orlando. Yeah. He went and played.
Clyde
Kobe
Drexler.
was young.
Clyde Drexler under the Rockets.
Was Shaq in LA before Kobe got drafted?
Huh.
Or did he go after?
I think it might have been simultaneous. I
can't
think
remember.
the year that they got him might be Kobe's rookie year. I'd have to look that up. I don't know.
Because then if that's the
Were there
case,
Shaq years without
I don't know,
Kobe?
because I don't remember. I don't see the two of them getting together. So was it the Celtics? Were they the first ones that kind of really like?
No. I mean, Dennis Rodman of going to the Bulls is a pretty big one in my
Right,
my
but
account.
again,
but
like you said, it wasn't the superstars
As far as
getting together,
superstars
and,
getting
and
together,
agreeing
I'd
to
say
all go to one team.
the Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, that was
joining
one of the
Paul
first.
Pierce.
Gary Payton, Karl Malone joining the Lakers.
They were just old.
I know, I get it, but they were still. Karl Malone still at the time was still thought of as the face of the Jazz. They didn't have somebody to replace him, so when he left, it was a big deal. And Gary Payton was a big deal to the Sonics.
At the time, yeah.
But yes,
I
you're
remember.
right.
I
They
remember
were
going,
old.
"Oh wow!" But
Yeah, they're
then
old.
once it
They're
happened,
old.
you're like,
and they didn't win. And that's the thing, is that you can create a super team. That doesn't mean you're going to win.
Honestly, putting Barkley and Drexler together on the Rockets and
And a bunch of old men too. The Scottie Pippen on that team too.
Yeah.
And like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I'd say they're still in their championship winning years, and they were just thrown on the same team. I don't think they're going to win. That doesn't mean you're going to win a championship.
You're right. I know.
And that's the thing. I give LeBron so much credit because for so long he was carrying these shitty teams into the playoffs and doing all right and looking like Superman. And then when he finally got good people around him, he won. But we don't give the same.
I'm surprised you don't have one of his teams in there.
I struggled. I made the mistake of putting him up against. I made the mistake of putting the LeBron Heat to where they would face the KD Warriors in the second round, because yes, I believe the final 8 should be the '90s Bulls, the Bird Celtics, the LeBron Heat, the Kobe Shaq Lakers, the KD Warriors, the Hakeem Rockets, the Showtime Lakers, and then one of those Spurs. Well, I guess I can't. I can't have that. I can't have it all.
You want to know?
I can't have it all.
He just wants it all.
But yeah, the all-time championship winning thing we'll never fucking know because this is all just make believe.
It can't happen. It's just in your mind.
It's all just in my mind.
A computer one day will be able to generate this.
No, not
and you'll
really,
be able
though.
to watch it.
Not really.
That's gonna be
though.
awesome.
They won't be able to generate.
You could watch it over and over
But we
again,
don't
and
know-
you could watch like a whole series. Wouldn't that be cool for them to fucking generate these teams and this technology to fucking play out a series for us?
There'd be so much
Like,
controversy.
Well, there's
on
probably
that,
like, yeah, but you could probably, there's probably like a billion different outcomes, and they could just play you 7 random ones.
I like it.
A computer could do that, and then you could be like, oh my God!
They won this time.
And then, yeah, you could do it again. And
the
it could be 7 other ones.
The Dirk Mavs are way too high on there. I was a little delirious. They're way too high on there.
Those are also just, whatever.
The LeBron Cavs are better than the Dirk Mavs. The Wade Shaq Heat are better than the Dirk Mavs. I'd even say the Giannis Bucks would probably beat the Dirk Mavs. I don't know. Now we're getting crazy. Now I don't know. I don't know. But yeah.
All right, now we're just wasting time.
Now we're just burning film here, I'm just wasting film and ether.
I know what time it is. I forget there's a clock right
There's a clock there. But yeah, man, we talked some good basketball. We talked some other crazy shit.
Nothing really happened in football.
Don't call black people Jackie Robinson. I mean, unless it's like his son that might
or
be
if
named
it's his
that.
name, if that's his name.
If that's his name,
If
that's
that's
okay.
his name, you should say, "Hey, Jackie."
If it's a degrading way to call a black person, that's fucked up, and we don't support that
We
here.
do not support racism,
But we do support fuck the algorithm.
But we do support racism against white people.
Yes. Oh yeah.
'Cause
for
that's
sure.
okay.
For sure.
It's okay.
We deserve it.
Of course we do.
We'll be back. Fuck off.